Love Me Again versus Rainy Day. I'm going to talk about both music videos that were just released from V and which one was my favorite, which one I like better, and I just want to talk about the vibes of both and what particular BTS project I think it really lends itself really well to as a pairing. Hey, I am Monique. I am the host of Off by Purple Heart podcast. I like to talk about BTS and I love to talk about K-dramas as well. And there's been a lot that's going on in Bora Land and BTS land lately. V has just come out with 2 tracks from his first solo album, and it is very interesting because I think out of all the members of BTS, he probably has the least amount of solo work, even though the members individually have done solo work either within the realm of mixtapes like the rap line or with the Maknae line, vocal line. They've had little offshoot projects here and there, and they've had solo work within the BTS discography, right? And I think Tae's musical project for his first solo release was going to be the one that I was going to be most interested in, because I really want to know what sound he was going to tap into. And considering the age range of his fan base and the more louder majority within the BTS fandom, I think with his visuals, there's a certain expectation of what he should sound like versus the musical genres and the inspirations that he heavily leans into. I know Tae really loves jazz, really loves R&B, and he does a lot of throwbacks to a lot of like neo-soul artists as well. Yet I heard news for his album Layover, which was coming out, that he linked up with New Jeans producer, which is really interesting to me because New Jeans has a very Y2K UK garage type sound, and I was thinking, I wonder if he would be able to incorporate something like that with jazz, with R&B. And then we got their press release shortly after D-Day 3, where a lot of us got emotionally stomped on and devastated and found out that V will be coming out with his work shortly, and that a lot of the track listings have R&B influence in it. So I was very intrigued on top of all that. So Love Me Again, already watched that video, really liked the intro to it. The golden haze as the video opens, the tight close-in shots of V's face, and I swear that it almost had like this vibe of Sade. I love Sade. I love Sade's voice, and I love the texture of her music videos. And if there was one collab that is really out there that I wish could potentially happen, would be V collaborating with Sade. I don't know if it can happen, but there's been so many just completely out of left field collabs that BTS have done that it kind of seems impossible, but not impossible at the same time. I mean, I really wasn't expecting J. Cole to link up with J-Hope, even though I know J-Hope adores J. Cole, and that was his muse, and they linked up with Lollapalooza last year, but it still came out left field for me, and I definitely did not expect Erykah Badu featuring on Namjoon's Indigo release. That one was a huge surprise to me. Huge surprise to me. And it's so funny that so far the vibe of Love Me Again and Rainy Days, I feel like someone mentioned on Twitter that I wish I had saved, that thought that, you know what, I think those 2 songs, and if the rest of the album is in that same vein, it very much is, Layover is going to be the sister to Indigo, which makes me really happy. I really loved all the artistic expression of all the BTS solo work so far. I think every single release has been so vastly different, and the amount of musical genres that they've been able to tap into. But if I was to categorize any as my favorite, I would say Indigo really pulls me in, and there's so much that's reminiscent to me of what V's doing, but still in his own style and his own rhythm, that I think I'm really, really going to enjoy Layover as a project. For Love Me Again, along with the Sade-like opening, like I feel like the background vocals was very Sade-like, and I wish he could be able to sample her or them collaborating with her band. I just think it would be awesome. I love the gold suit. I love how reminiscent it is to David Bowie. I love the slick back hair, that the setting is in a cave. It's very dank and damp, and he's, you know, surrounded by silhouettes of these vintage television, and that it's just very hazy and dreamlike. And there's the way that it's shot and filmed, that it just kind of puts you at a distance, and it kind of really brings into home like the feeling of isolation and loneliness, which both songs lean into a lot, which is that feeling of the desire and that yearning for the lover that got away, which I know is pretty much intentional. I think that was what he was going for, and I haven't read the official breakdown of the lyrics yet, but I like that both videos kind of lend into that. And the hook is really catchy. I've watched Love Me Again a few more times since, and I love that it's something that I can already see the live staging of it, and I think it will lend itself really well to a live band. And that's the one thing I'm really, really looking forward to, is like the live band component of these songs in particular. I like that there's like this fishbowl effect. Like I was saying earlier, I feel like there's like this level of distance, and there's like this kind of pushing away kind of vibe that you as the watcher, it feels almost really voyeuristic, and I feel like the same in the next music video, which I'm kind of have like a reaction to as well. And it has like this really faded quality, but also it feels very current and modern. it packs a lot of punch. Love Me Again. It's just really interesting. I like the little changes in costume as well. The gold is just utterly gorgeous to capture, and whatever filming technique that they use for that video, it just makes him look ethereal. And going into the red was really nice as well. I just like the costuming of it, and I like that kind of adds texture and some like it gives you something visually to really grab onto, because it's a very simplistic set, right? The main focus in the entire video is him in the cave, just kind of circling tight in close in shot, and then kind of zooming back out, and the TV. So the costuming really has to do like the heavy lifting as far as visually creating like some texture and some tension in like the storytelling. But overall, it's a really cool vintage throwback, but with an updated modern lens type video. So that was kind of my overall read of Love Me Again. I think it's really it's really catchy, and it definitely gets in the head more with each listen. And then there's Rainy Days, which just premiered not too long ago. Premiered at midnight. And I don't have the stamina anymore to stay up for midnight releases. So I try to watch them as soon as possible going forward. And I can already say off the bat, like this one was a lot more cheeky. It still has the overall message of isolation and loneliness and yearning and desire to reconnect with a faded out, long lost love. And the color palette is definitely a lot darker, and obviously if it's going to be Rainy Days, it's going to have that overcast, hazy kind of feel as well, whereas it's very dreamlike and you're kind of lost in Love Me Again. Rainy Days is very more grounded in reality, and it also has that voyeuristic kind of quality that you're kind of peeking in and spying in on someone, just kind of going over the memories of what they once had. And I do like with this video, there's like more like moments of like levity, despite him talking about how lonely and isolated he is. I like that there was a Yotan double. I actually thought that this was his dog in the music video, and then I quickly found out, no, that was not actually his dog. That was actually a little actor buddy that was in there, because I don't think his dog is able to fly, and I think this music video was done in Spain. I think that's what I heard, but I could be wrong. If you're watching this and that's incorrect, please correct me in either the description below or wherever the comment shall be. I feel like visually there was a lot more going on. There's a lot more textures. So because the color palette was wildly different from Love Me Again, there has to be a lot more going on in the set. Definitely a lot more of that fishbowl kind of effect. Definitely you feel like there's a lot more that grabs out to you. I like the effect with like all the little faces that were kind of spinning in a circle. I liked he's dipping like a baguette into paint, which I thought was really interesting, and I think it just kind of allowed V to be a lot more cheeky. I like when Tay's more mischievous kind of personality gets to bleed through. He gets to do a little bit of more of the acting, and there's a point where he was like flopped out on the bed and he just gives that classic V smile that I really, really like. It's just really cute. And the overall vibe that I got from Rainy Days versus Love Me Again is, while there is that element of pleading in Love Me Again, obviously as the title of the song suggests, as the chorus suggests, with Rainy Days it's almost more of an acceptance, more of a resignation to how he's feeling. But there's brief moments of happiness as well. Like, it just shows like kind of the roller coaster, the up and down of your emotions when you're going through heartbreak. There's just times where you're kind of numb to it all. There's times where you have a little bit of levity where you can kind of laugh at yourself. And then there's times where there's just that deep sinking in your bones type sadness. And I feel like that music video and the song itself kind of brings in all of that together. And I just felt like it was a lot more inviting of a music video. I just enjoyed it. And I know, like, instrumentation wise, just the song itself, it was very hooky. Like, I heard like the first 5 seconds of it, I was like, yes, 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 yes. So overall, I would say probably my favorite of the two is Rainy Days. I think just sonically, I like it more, and I think the music video, I like how much more is going on in it. I think I like that one more if I was to choose between the two personally, but I think I like both of the vibes, and they're definitely what I thought Tay would do. And I really think whoever said it on Twitter that they feel like Layover is going to be like the sister to Namjoon's Indigo was right on the money, especially with the release of these two songs and the whole entire packaging of Layover and style aesthetic. To me, they're very closely linked, and I really enjoy that because I love Indigo as a project so much. I feel like every time I listen to it, there's something new that I'm picking up on as far as the music and just certain phrasing of lyrics. And I'm really looking forward to what Tay is going to bring, because I feel like the live performance of these songs especially are going to be phenomenal. With a band, a jazz band in the background, I feel like as much as I prefer Rainy Days and love that song, I have a feeling that Love Me Again is probably going to sway me just by the live performance of it and getting to hear that husky, smoky voice in a live setting. So those are my thoughts. That's kind of like my reaction after the fact to both music videos, and I'm looking forward to more that's coming down the pipeline. Anyways, I want to thank you for listening to this podcast. Thank you if you are watching via YouTube, and please comment, please subscribe, thumbs up if you liked it, tell me your thoughts about the music video, and if you're watching or listening through Spotify, I appreciate that as well. I'm looking to expand the podcast beyond Spotify as well. So thank you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.